Alright, so hello, long time no see. This is a very impromptu video. Today I woke up and I got a notification from YouTube that Franny from Franny for Thoughts tagged me in this tag, and yeah, this made me realize, hey, I was doing this booktube thing and I kind of forgot about it. So yeah, this notification made me really excited, and I remembered that maybe I should film a video or something. So I'm quite unprepared. I don't even have any of the books that I'm going to talk about today with me here, but as you saw from the title, I'm just going to talk about the books I read in October and November. I have my laptop here and I'm just going to look through Goodreads and, you know, talk about the books I read in order that I read them in. Okay, so first we have My Name is Leon by Kit Dewell. I actually talked about this book in my previous video, even though I finished it in October. So if you want to hear my thoughts, head over to my previous video. I gave it 3.5 stars. Then we have actually a book I read for my university, so it's On Television by Pierre Bourdieu. He's a French sociologist. And yeah, it's just a discussion about the role of television and journalism. I didn't rate it, but if I were to rate it, I probably would give it 4 stars, I'm not sure. It was interesting because he was critically talking about television, but this was actually published at a lecture on TV, so that's quite ironic. But yeah, the next book I read is Convenience Store Woman? Yes, by Sayaka Murata. I gave this 4 stars. This is often compared to Eleanor Elephant is Completely Fine, and I actually gave that book 4 stars too, but I liked Eleanor Elephant is Completely Fine more than Convenience Store Woman. This is interesting because you can see the main character, Keiko, as just a socially inept person, just really awkward, who doesn't really, you know, understand human interactions. But you also can look at her as just a psychopath, which I feel like you should. So with that in mind, it was really interesting to explore Keiko's mind. And yeah, this was a novella. It's super short. The writing style was very simplistic, so I really flew for this book. The male character of this book made me really angry. His views on society and role of men and women in society was just really, just made me really angry. But it was the purpose of this character, and I felt like it was conveyed really well. Yeah, next we have the 13th Tale by Diane Setterfield, and I gave this 3 stars. And actually I thought I would give this a lower rating, but I really enjoyed the last 50 pages, so in the end I gave this 3 stars. The writing was kind of awkward, the metaphors were overused and I know kind of silly sometimes, but this could be the translation, because I read it in Polish. Yeah, this actually is kind of similar to Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo, only in the premise. Those books are very different, but when it comes to the premise, imagine Evelyn Hugo but as a writer. So she's, you know, old now and wants someone to write her biography and asks this unknown young girl to do it for her. So, you know, those kind of synopses are very similar to each other. It was supposed to be kind of gothic, and I feel like I don't really enjoy gothic fiction. There was one plot twist, I guess, that I didn't see coming, but I really liked the plot twist, but I've heard people really didn't enjoy it and felt like it didn't make sense, but this plot twist actually made me enjoy the book more. So there's that. Then we have This Is Going to Hurt by Adam Kay. This is a Secret Diary of a Junior Doctor. So I give this 5 stars. This is definitely one of the best books I've read this year, and this actually gave me an idea on what I want to write as my master's thesis. like a dissertation. So yeah, this was hilarious. Adam Kay has an amazing sense of humor, so I definitely recommend this. The only thing that I was a little bit disappointed with was the ending. Like, you have like the first chapter of Adam Kay like in the present telling you, okay, this is a diary that I was writing while I was a junior doctor. Then you have the diary, and that's kind of most of the book. And then you have like the last chapter where he tells you, it's not a spoiler or anything, he tells you like he quit medicine and focused on like other things, I think like comedy and like writing for TV shows, I think, I'm not sure. And I wish we got to hear more about that, like how do you go from being a doctor to like a TV show writer, but he just like sums it up in like 1 or 2 sentences, and I'm just like, but I want to know more about this, that sounds so interesting. So yeah, but overall 5 stars, absolutely recommend this. And actually I have another memoir that I read this month, I mean during those 2 months, that I actually also rated 5 stars, but on that later. Then we have Cranford by Elizabeth Gaskell that I gave 4 stars to. I was surprised I gave it such a high rating because I've seen people not enjoy this book this much, but I feel like if you go into this book knowing that this isn't really a book with a strong plot, this is kind of like, it's more a collection of short stories about this one town called Cranford. And if you go into this book with this mindset, I feel like you're going to enjoy this a lot more. There is like a slight hint of a plot and like a few of like main characters who kind of focus on more, but yeah, it's kind of like little snippets here and there of people who live in this town, and I really liked it. It was really heartwarming, even though there's a lot of like deaths in this story, but I really liked Elizabeth Gaskell's sense of humor here, which I feel like we didn't get to see that much in North and South. Actually, we did a little bit more in the second half, but I feel like what is it, Mr. Bell, I think he was hilarious, and we see that side of Elizabeth Gaskell here more, in my opinion. And yeah, I give it 4 stars. It was really nice. Then we have what was that? If We Were Villains by Emil Rio, which I also gave 4 stars to. This is okay, yet another comparison. This is often compared to The Secret History by Donna Tartt, and from what I've heard, people, if you like The Secret History, you're probably not going to like If We Were Villains. Like, that I feel was the tendency, but I actually quite enjoyed it. I didn't enjoy it as much as The Secret History. I gave The Secret History 5 stars, and yeah, If We Were Villains 4 stars too. This definitely kind of feels like a debut novel. What If We Were Villains does better compared to The Secret History, in my opinion, is the pacing. Like, I was constantly engaged in the story. Is that how we say that? Like, I was really interested in the plot, and I felt like the pacing was really great because it just kept you interesting throughout the whole book. While, you know, with The Secret History, it's quite a slow burn. Like, the plot moves very slowly, and there are certain parts that drag on a little bit. Yeah, with this one I really flew through it. Another thing that I really liked is the format of the book. So this kind of, what do you call that? Like, it kind of reads like a play, because it's focused on those students who study, they're like theater kids who do only Shakespeare, basically. So they study Shakespeare and only Shakespeare. So yeah, there are certain parts in the story that kind of read like a play, that you like, it is, what do you call that? So like, for example, just like in a play you have the whole play divided into like acts and scenes. It was the same way in this book, and also some of the dialogue, not all of it, but some of the dialogue was written as if it were a play. So that was really interesting. The writing style was good, but the thing where this book lacked was the characters. They were quite flat, and I felt like I didn't understand the characters, and because of that I felt like I didn't understand their motives. So like why they were doing the things they were doing, especially one character. But yeah, that was the biggest downside. I feel like the author should have worked a little bit more on that, and you know, there should be a little more depth to the characters. The character Richard, he went from like 0 to 100 real quick, and it didn't make sense at all. Also, another main character who actually in the first scene of the book is actually in jail because of a crime he committed. So his motives also are a little bit unclear to me. But yeah, there was a lot of things I enjoyed. It was a lot gayer than The Secret History, so yeah, that was interesting. And I actually quite liked how ambiguous the ending was. So there's that. Then we have In Order to Live by Yeonmi. Yeah, this is a memoir by this girl who, you know, escaped from North Korea, and it was amazing. I gave it 5 stars. I think it's still important to read this book, even though the kind of like the relationship between those two countries is a little bit better, and yeah, they're kind of warming up to each other. But it's still important to know how the things. I'm not sure if I should say like how the things were, because even though things are looking like better now, I'm not sure how the things changed for the citizen of North Korea, how much they changed. But yeah, this is a very important read in my opinion, and I think everyone should read this book, like seriously. The last book I finished actually, which is Harry Potter and Half-Blood Prince by J.K. Rowling, and I gave this book, on Goodreads I gave it 5 stars, but actually I gave it 4.5 stars. It was great, I really enjoyed it. I read it quite quickly for me, and the only thing that bothered me was Ginny's character, okay? I really like Ginny. She seemed to be really shy in the first few books, and then she evolved into this like social butterfly, which is fine. I just wish we saw a little more of that change. So like maybe we could say she was just shy because she was crashing on Harry, so she was just shy around him, but actually she was like really social and open to begin with. Like just because she acted shy around Harry doesn't mean she was overall shy, but still, I was kind of, when she like quickly changed her attitude, I was like, that sounds fake, but okay. But I was enjoying it. I was really enjoying like confident, sassy Ginny. I did. But then at the end of this book, Harry decides to go on his journey to destroy the Horcruxes, and he, you know, breaks up with Ginny pretty much and tells her, okay, you have to do this, so I'm leaving you. And Ginny was just like, okay, sure, pal, you do your own thing. I'm just like, that's so out of character. Like, Ginny normally, I feel like she would be like, no, I'm going with you, what the hell are you talking about? But she was like, okay, I'm just gonna wait for you here. I'm just like, what? So I felt like that was really out of character for her, and it really made me angry. But yeah, aside from that, I really enjoyed it, and I gave it 4.5 stars. And the last book that I actually DNF'd is Why We Sleep, Unlocking the Power of Sleep and Dreams by Matthew Walker. I DNF'd it, like I maybe read like 50 pages. At first I listened to it on audiobook, but it wasn't working for me, so I switched to like an ebook, because I thought maybe just the audiobook wasn't working for me. But no, I gave it 3 stars even though I DNF'd it at first, but then I changed it to 2 stars because whenever I was looking back on this book, I was like, wow, I really didn't like it. So here's the thing, this is a very, very well researched book. It's a very informative. There's a lot of, you know, research that was done to write this book, but it was just very dry. I didn't like the writing style. I was so bored. And yeah, this is a topic I'm very interested in, so it doesn't make sense for me to not care about what he's writing about. But yeah, I know, the writing style was dry and kind of textbooky. I wouldn't say dense, because I do read a lot of like actually dense academic texts from my university, and this was just dry. I don't know what else to call this, but yeah, not my cup of tea. But yeah, like the writing style was really big part when I read books, and it didn't work for me, so I DNF'd it. Yeah, so that's everything. I hope this video was actually quick, so I didn't waste my or your time. Hopefully I will have some time to record some other videos, actually record the tag video that I was tagged in. And yeah, I'm really excited to make some videos at the end of the year about like my favorite books of the year, my least favorite / most disappointing books of the year, and yeah, so I hope I actually see you soon. Bye!